Hey guys, it's Genesis and welcome back to another video. Now today I will be comparing my experience from online school to public school. Now I just want to say that I had some really awesome experiences with both public school and online school. But in my particular situation, I definitely experienced more pros with online school than I did with pros for public school. So we'll get into that right now. But first, I will talk about my experience with public school. Now, I went to public school for all my elementary years, and I had some really awesome memories. For my old school, elementary lasted from kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade, which I know for a lot of you guys, it probably lasted only until 5th grade, and then 6th grade was considered junior high, but for me, it was K through 6. My favorite part of elementary school was hanging out with friends. No surprise there. It's probably every kid's favorite part of elementary, but it was a really special time for me. I'm definitely more on the extroverted side, so it was so much fun to walk to school with some of my best friends and then go to class and see a lot of my other friends there too. In fact, some of my very best friends from elementary school are still some of my closest friends even now. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, I love making art and writing stories that involve art. During elementary school, I was really able to sort of pursue my passions because it was elementary school and I didn't have so much stress on like studying for finals because we didn't have that back then. So it was a really great time for me to experience cultivating my imagination. In fact, during my elementary school years was when I came up with the stories to a lot of the books you see behind me right here. Now, technically, the first book that I ever published was this book right to the side of me right here. And this is The Adventures of Peppy and Friends. Now, I published that when I was 11, so I believe I had just graduated 6th grade by then, and I wrote the story when I was earlier in 6th grade. However, the first story that I fully wrote was actually this one right here, which is called Nelly the Reindeer Who Saved Christmas. Now, this is also available on Amazon along with all of my books back there, so I'll leave a link in the description, so make sure to go check them out. Now, Nelly I wrote for one of my very good friends in 5th grade actually. Now you can see right here, this is Lauren, and this is who the book is dedicated for, and I wrote the characters and the stories for her and obviously got inspired by the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story. And this is an awesome Christmas book for any young kids or really just anyone of all ages, so I would highly recommend getting this book, even though I am the author, so of course I will highly recommend all of my books, but especially this one because it is a children's book, as you can see here, and all of the other ones are comic books, but this one is a really sweet children's book for Christmas time. So yeah, go check it out. But another book that I actually wrote in class during science lab was this one right over here, and this is Supper Pablo. So Supper Pablo right over here, as you can see, it's pronounced Supper Pablo, and if you pronounce it super, I will come to your house and kick you in the knee, so don't do that. But yeah, Supper Pablo, I literally made it during science lab while we were doing a unit on volcanoes, and I'm pretty sure I still have one of the original like sketches that I did with one of my friends while we were in science lab on the back of my volcanic eruption sort of note section for that lesson. And one of my friends who actually sort of helped brainstorm the idea was Mr. Thomas right here, and he's still actually a very good friend of mine to this day. And a lot of the friends that sort of helped with the book or I wrote my books for are in the dedication page of all my comic books and children's books. So apart from being able to draw all the time and really just enjoying my friends, another thing that I absolutely loved about elementary school was the field trips, which I know is such like a typical little kid thing, but it's true. I mean, field trips were so much fun. Just like going out on a bus with all of your friends and driving out to a place you've never been to without your parents was such an adventure for me. Now, I remember the biggest field trip we all went on was called Outdoor Ed, and I'm pretty sure you guys have had something similar to that, but in our outdoor ed, during the end of 6th grade, we all took a bus and headed out into the mountains for a full week. It was so much fun. We got to stay with our best friends in cabins, and then we got to explore with our other friends in our trail group. There were so many activities like archery and astrology and campfire songs that we all huddled around together and just enjoyed in our 6th grade years. We even had this thing called Beach Day, which was sort of like a last hurrah before we all graduated from elementary school. But all of the 6th graders went on a bus and we just drove out to this really awesome beach. We all brought our boogie boards and surfboards and we just had a blast. We just spent the whole day at the beach with our best friends. I mean, can you ask for anything better? But after 6th grade was when my dad was really pushing towards me doing online school or homeschool. Also, just a little disclaimer, when I'm talking about homeschool, I'm talking about online school. And homeschool is actually pretty different than online school, but homeschool is sort of what people recognize more, because if you're not doing public school, then you're doing homeschool. In actuality, homeschool is where the parents are teaching you, and that wasn't the case for me. All of my classes were online, and I just could log in whenever I want and just do my classes for the day. And they were all just video lectures, not my dad teaching me. But anyways, going back to my transition from public school to online school, I was actually really reluctant to do online school. I didn't really want to. For me, I just wanted to hang out with my friends and really go to a school where I knew everyone and have that sort of social aspect in my life. Because you don't really have that when you do homeschool, which is why a lot of people don't want to. But as I started seeing more pros to online school, like having more time and being done with school earlier, I was a little more convinced to do online school. Because also, we ended up moving, so I wouldn't have been able to go to the middle school that all of my friends went to, and I just had to go somewhere where I knew literally no one else. So that made the decision a lot easier to join online school. And let me just say, I'm so glad I did, because I didn't have to deal with all the drama that came with middle school. Which, by the way, I still got involved in a lot of drama, and I didn't even go to that school. I might do some story times about that, because I have some really interesting stories from my middle school years, even though I didn't even go to that school. But just let me know if you want to see some story times, because I would love to do those types of videos. But yeah, once I started doing online school pretty regularly, I realized how much I loved it. Let me just say, it was so nice to be able to wake up at literally the crack of noon and just go downstairs, pour me a nice bowl of cereal, go to my desk, and just sort of watch my videos while eating my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I was also done in like 3 to 4 hours, so I had the rest of the day to do whatever I wanted to do. That's also what allowed me to pursue all the things that I was able to pursue. Of course, I was very creative in elementary school, and I was able to sort of pursue my creativity, but as you get older and you're in public school, you don't really have the time to be focusing on your imagination or focusing on what you actually want to do. And that's what really made me realize how much better online school was. Because I also traveled a lot, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to go to the places I've been able to go without online school, because it's so lenient and you can really just do school on your own schedule. You can work ahead, and if you get behind, you can easily catch up. And there's just so many pros that there aren't in public school. What I also love about online school is that you can take classes that you actually want to take. Of course, you still have to do the core basics that are mandatory in schools, but you can take like business classes or art classes or instrumental classes. That's what I did. My problem with public school is that it doesn't really prepare you for the real world. And even though that's their main thing, and that's why they sort of stifle your creativity, which is another thing I really don't like about public school, the classes that they have aren't really going to prepare you when you become an adult. However, with online school, you have access to so many different electives, and like me, I took entrepreneurship and business, which is such an amazing class. And if you're already doing online school, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you take some business classes. Even if you're not planning on becoming self-employed, learning how business works and sort of the organizational structure is going to help you in any career that you decide to pursue. You also learn how to do your taxes and sort of manage your money and learn about different types of financial stuff that you don't learn in regular schools. So yeah, with all the points that I've made, for me, I really love online school more than I did with public school. I actually had the option of going back to public school when I became a high schooler, but I just decided to stick with online because it works for me and I wouldn't be able to pursue all the things that I've been able to do, like create this YouTube channel and write all the books that I've written. However, I will say that online school really isn't for everyone. To be in online school, you really have to have a strong work ethic and a strong self-determination drive. With public school, you don't really need that because you're just sort of getting assignments from your teacher and you just do them and submit them the next day or whenever they're due. With online school, you can sort of work at your own pace, at least in the program that I'm using. I have like dates when things are due, but I can choose whether or not to work ahead or not do certain lessons at the time that it's necessarily supposed to be done. And that's just sort of something you have to figure out for yourself. Because online school, you can really work at your own pace, and some people are more comfortable just sort of working at the pace that everyone else is working on. So if that's how you are, you do you. If you don't want to have that big responsibility of sort of making sure that you're doing stuff at the right time, or if you get stressed out with sort of organizing yourself and you're not very good at time management, then online school might not be for you. And that's totally fine. Public school is still really great and it treated me really well. It's just for my particular situation, the pros of online school far outweighed the pros of public school. But that's just me. Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I would love to hear what you thought about it and whether watching this video sort of made you see a new perspective or made you realize how good online school is or how content you are with public school. I respond to every single one of the comments, so make sure to leave one below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big fat like, a big fat comment, and also it would mean so much to me if you guys could subscribe and hit that bell notification. That's it for now. Always remember to keep on dreaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, YouTube.